Hey guys, well, today I'm joined by Meghan Jarvis, fitness guru. She writes, she blogs, she does everything. She's right into her fitness. How you doing, Meghan?
I'm well. Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it is nice to have you here. I'm interested to hear about your story. You and I have met a couple of months ago, and I understand that you're a fitness person. You're heavily into the industry. You know, you travel, you do seminars and other bits and pieces. Give us a description of exactly what it is you do in the fitness industry.
Sure. Okay. Well, initially, I guess my baby is a health and fitness app that we partner with studios and allow people to train at different classes or gyms with no lock-in contracts. And it enables complete freedom to find what you love, including massage therapist, kinesiologist, mindset coaches, that sort of thing, based on time and distance. And I started that about 3 years ago, but before that I was playing professional sport. I came over here to play professional basketball, and I have an athletic background starting at the age of like 5. I was a Canadian national BMX champion, and then went on to like the world championships for that at age 13. So traveling the world and playing sport was initially probably my soul calling, I would call it. And then beyond that, became a lead lecturer at the Australian Institute of Fitness, which I think created a whirlwind of seeing different aspects of the fitness industry and where I really wanted to help it. And I love the fitness industry, the people involved, the excitement, and where it's headed right now with regards to blending that with technology. So since then, I've created my own app. Now I speak on the future of fitness technology all over the world. I just got back from 4 different countries, and I'm on my way again, actually, to go do some more speaking and also see Tony Robbins and get inspired by him in Sydney next week. So I would say that probably the biggest thing that I love doing right now is really making an impact on the health and fitness industry in the largest way possible. So wherever that comes from, I'm just continuing to grow a bunch of different verticals and see which one ends up taking it to the next level.
Okay. Tell me, look, I don't mind a bit of fitness myself. I do get a bit, unmotivated for sometimes longer periods than I'd like. But what are people got to do to, let's say you've reached a point where you've just sort of let yourself go a bit. You've got some bad habits, your lifestyle's maybe not how it should be, and then they come across someone like you or a program like yours. I mean, how does a person then go from being a little bit lazy, a bit unmotivated, to just starting to kind of really find their potential? I mean, is it an easy transition, or are people going to struggle initially?
So creating the least amount of barrier to entry is so crucial. And we all know that individualized health and personalized health is the way to go, because we know now we're all different, and we don't all want to go to a Les Mills class or a CrossFit box, or not everyone wants to go strength train and just throw weights around for an hour.
Yep.
So we need to find what that person actually enjoys, which will create a consistent, reoccurring impact on their life, even if we start at the very base level, which what you're discussing is my favorite topic, because ultimately what my system does currently is allows people like yourself to find classes easier.
Yeah.
But the people that we really want to impact are not looking at classes. They're not even thinking about, going for a walk down the street right now. So how do we get to them to enable them to take those first steps?
Yeah.
Is really coming in and doing what we use is pH 360, which I'll explain in a second, but it could be a DNA test. So it's looking at, either taking measurements of the body or a DNA test. And then we can see what it comes back to. And always, its nutrition is 80 to 90% what we need to look at. And we need to look at what you're lacking and what isn't good for you within your body. And if we want to go to the least intrusive, that's just 15 measurements of your body. And it's called phenotyping. It's looking at your DNA and your environment at the same time. And then we're getting that in real time based on what you've been doing in the last 2 weeks. So have you been training in the last 2 weeks? Tell me your training schedule.
Yeah. I have.
Perfect.
Well,
why is that funny? That's like, you're like, yes, I'm ready to.
I didn't think that I would be sort of put on the spot like this. But to be fair, no, look, I was training every day of the week for almost 3 months until about a month ago. And then I just kind of I was a bit exhausted from it. I lost a lot of weight. I was feeling good, but I just wanted to have a little rest. And to be honest, that rest's probably gone on a little long now. I still jog and I still surf, but I don't go to the gym like I was. And yeah, I've kind of found myself feeling a little bit flat, actually. I mean, I'm sure that this is something that, a lot of people feel from time to time. Probably not you, but there's people out there that feel this way.
Yeah, everyone feels that. We
I
all
would
hit a plateau, don't you worry?
Well, you do,
Yeah.
right? And but I'm still in pretty good health. I'm in my middle age, and I just feel like life gets in the way. I mean, I'm busy with working and doing other bits and pieces around the place, and sometimes I suppose that lifestyle doesn't allow for a regular routine of fitness, which is probably something that someone like yourself would be able to help with. I know I need motivation. I know it helps to have somebody else tell me what to do. I'm not always self-motivating. Okay, so where do how do you offer what you do? I mean, do you go? Is it an online platform? And you said you had an app. Do you work out at gyms? Do you how do people find what you do?
Yeah, sure. And I would love to discuss how you can transition out of that plateau, because that's one of the most common questions I get. And
please do.
So I'll come back to that. So the base of what we do is firstly a consult, and it would generally be face-to-face unless you're in an area that there's not a PH 360 coach that has a background in fitness as well. So anybody that's going to do these measurements, for example, are going to be fully certified in both Cert 3, Cert 4 and fitness. PH 360, which is a nutrition based course that allows them to look at your phenotype, which is what I was discussing, 15 measurements of the body. And it really looks at bone length and how much hormones were released at birth. And that gives us a great idea of not only what you could be lacking in your body, but what kind of personality you have. So it goes into similar things as, for example, the Myers-Briggs test or the DISC personality test, but on a deeper level just due to measurements of the body, which is really interesting. Due to jaw length, femur type, the term gentle giant is very true. They actually don't need to go out and fight all the time and survive. They were the ones that were like the hunters or the gatherers and, showing love to their family, et cetera, et cetera. So it goes into that kind of detail. The other option would be a DNA test to assist people. So the first step to individualized health is usually it comes like this, and you won't get it because it starts with the problem has gone past preventative and now there's something wrong. So now that I'm sick, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is catch it way before that.
Right.
So look at, okay, your waistline is this measurement. So that's actually a precursor to type 2 diabetes, which means that, a high sugar intake throughout your diet is actually not good for you.
Okay.
And we would need to cut this down and so it gives you those precursors well in advance. And then it enables people to be not only self-motivated and driven, but understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay.
And like anything, if you understand why, then you are more motivated no matter what. Like once you understand that you could have this, you can't go back. You can't erase the knowledge that you've got. And then you would be more motivated on an individual personalized level. But when it comes to someone like yourself who's already had that, you know that you want to stay fit and healthy because you know how good it feels.
Yeah.
You know that the hormones are released and then that's going to enable you to excel in all areas of life, including work and relationships, everything. It just assists with, the body-mind connection and the mind-body connection are so important to have together.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when we hit a plateau, it's looking at, okay, what are my main interests? What's really serving me and keeping me in shape? But if I want to take that to the next level, what do I need to switch up and create a little bit more interest in my fitness regime? So the first questions, again, you'd want to get remeasured, and we'd want to look at, is there something in your diet? Before we even get to your exercise routine, do you need to be having more antioxidants, maybe some more blueberries in the morning? That's going to actually give you the motivation more than you need than me going, let's sit down and look at your time schedule.
Yeah.
Because it really, time and work and everything else is just our excuse.
Yeah.
And if we have the energy for it, we're going to do it. And it's the mindset. So once you know your nutrition is on key and on point, then you'd look at how can I step into something that I actually would like going to? So you mentioned that you're surfing, you love the beach.
Yeah.
And
who doesn't? I find that, by the way, that's you were talking about DNA test. I mean, it sounds like some really complicated science there. I had no idea that this, bone length and jaw and, chemicals released at birth. I didn't realize any of this would have a bearing on, your health in general, or, your potential to stay fit and healthy. I guess it makes sense, when you think about it. But, I've always found that doing activities, like surfing, like playing soccer, or I play squash as well, sporting stuff, that's my motivator to stay in shape, because you're almost not even thinking about it. I go out the front here with a friend and we throw the frisbee on the beach for like 30 minutes and it's great. You do lunges and sprints, and you're jumping, and you're diving, and you don't even know how tired you are until you sort of can barely throw the thing anymore, and you jump in the ocean and feel great. But if I jog, after 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm just getting really tired. And I've actually exerted way less energy. I find that's quite an interesting sort of phenomena. But okay, so you're obviously in great nick. You've looked after yourself. You've come from a sporting sort of history from childhood, and your adolescence. You were a sporty person playing basketball and representing Canada and whatnot. Huge stuff. And then it's taken you into this whole other. Your career is now based around health and fitness, and no doubt it's all very rewarding. And like you said, staying fit and healthy affects obviously other aspects of your life as well. And you're getting your message out, which is great. And so, I mean, what do you find is the most effective way of, say, getting clients to really sort of sign up to things and stick with it long term?
Yeah, great question. Well, probably the largest and number one impact we have is community. So as long as they feel that they're a part of something, they're going to stick to it long term. CrossFit is one of the largest growing communities in the fitness industry for a reason.
Okay.
Anybody that signs up with CrossFit, it's almost like they are on a dating site just with that CrossFit box. They start going on vacation with everybody. They're like going out for drinks. It's a big community event. And for example, what we're rolling out in the corporate sector is we're creating Vulcan Games, or we're creating activities that bring the whole community together and enables a bit of a competition at the end based on different exercises and things within the gym. So you're always having a goal, you're always having a community event, and there's something everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
So it's creating excitement around something that is great, it's healthy for their lives. And as long as you have that personalized health behind it, that can really make it stick. It needs to be individualized for them, and then have that amazing community and goal at the end.
Yeah, you're right about that. I know that, anytime, say I go to the gym on my own, sometimes I put my headphones on, I feel very, very isolated almost. The gym for me isn't somewhere that I want to start chatting to people that are, they're on the bench press or they're doing their press ups or whatever it might be. You're not going to there's not that community atmosphere. There's people around you, but when you're doing group classes, obviously you get to know people's names, and, often you're paired off and you're working together and whatnot. And you develop that kind of group mentality, and they become your friends. And then you go socializing and you're having a bunch of fun with everyone. And that tends to get you back to the gym. In fact, I was at a gym and I sort of missed the people there. I sort of stopped going. They're messaging me going, "Where are you? Like, we need you here." And I've just, I will go back at some point. But yeah, definitely community is a big motivator for kind of creating a nice routine. So F45, you mentioned that. Actually, sorry, not F45. You mentioned CrossFit.
Yep, but F45 is another great one. Orange Theory, all of them run on the same system.
Yep.
And have created a cult-like community.
Oh, definitely. Well, absolutely. I mean, anywhere you go, somebody's always telling you about their CrossFit, and there's this sort of groundswell of I feel like group training is it? I know it's been around for a while, but it feels like it's really taking over almost from just the odd, just going to the gym on your own. It feels like, is this a new thing that group training, exercising is that like come out of nowhere, or has it been happening for a while?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone into the deep studies of how many percentage of group training classes have grown over the last, even just 2 to 3 years, let alone over the last 10 years.
Yep.
It's always been around. It's always been amazing. However, the facilities are now really driving that community feel and realizing that that's actually assisting people to train on their own as well.
Okay.
So the big box gyms that we would consider not a class like small box gym, like F45 or Orange Theory or CrossFit, Good Life's Anytime Fitness and Fitness First are now taking on all of these different classes as well. So it's changing the game. Classes are now available at almost every gym that you go to, unless, even World Gym is now looking into different strength training classes, how they can incorporate Olympic lifting into their weekly schedule, because people love schedules, they love routine, and they love really joining into something that's a lot more than the individual moving forward. They love to be a part of something. Even those text messages that you were getting, that's why people would love to be a part of that studio, because even if it was friends, PTs often do that, or the gym owner will do that, and that's the extra touch that goes the ultimate distance.
Yeah, well, it was, I must say, it played on my conscience, when you got people saying, hey, we're here, why aren't you? And I'm at home reading a book or, watching a bit of Netflix, and I get this guilt going, I think I should be there. These people that have expected me and they're all off working their butts off and I'm sitting on a couch. But I'm probably not the only one that's guilty of that. I think we all fall into that trap eventually. But
definitely.
Yeah, and you forget. I think oftentimes you forget that how good it feels when you are, in a really good routine of fitness.
Yes.
You sleep better. You've got more energy for things. You look brighter. You're more motivated, more focused, and stuff like it. And it's only when you start losing a bit of that, you're like, oh, hang on, I want to get back to where I was.
I was going to mention, even earlier when you were mentioning surfing, for example, I just got back from Canada. I was wakeboarding for 10 days, and then I went snowboarding in Queenstown for 5 days.
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I got lakes and snow within 2 weeks. It was amazing.
Okay.
In between that, speaking at conferences, which, I would give this tip to anyone, go out for drinks at conferences. That's where the magic really happens.
Okay.
So, it's a mixture of, you don't really get up that early to go to the gym, but I feel I'm training for Australian Ninja Warrior for this next season.
Oh, wow.
I fell really bad on the first season. So now I'm at the point now, I know that I've got this.
Okay.
It's going to be good. So we'll see what happens in October. But, I would say probably the biggest thing that I've noticed, and it's great for you as well, is that as long as you're doing something that you love, your mindset, even when you said it doesn't seem like I'm going for a very long time when I'm playing, sport or surfing, and then when I'm jogging, it feels awful after 20 minutes. That's because literally you are in a different zone in your mind and you can go way longer. That sounds bad, but so you could exercise for so much longer, et cetera, et cetera. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're right. I suppose motivation comes from a lot of different sources, and I find just, having fun doing something, you forget that you're working hard, like I mentioned. So you do these, you go to seminars and you give, various talks and whatnot. What typically do you speak to an audience about? Because I imagine that they're already fitness people, so you don't need to tell them the benefits. You don't probably need to tell them how to get involved. What are you telling other fitness people when you're speaking to them at a seminar? Yeah,
no worries. So my first presentation at CamFit Pro, which is the largest health and fitness conference in the world based on the amount of attendees that are health and fitness professionals specific, because there's also an expo where they sell equipment and there's proteins and the general public, or different styles of studios, bodybuilding competitions, F45 competitions. Those are always big. But the ones with the delegates, which they're the health and fitness professionals that are usually getting credits towards continuing education, for example, CamFit Pro is the largest one in the world. And my first presentation was on the future of fitness technology. So I speak on what's up and coming with regards to technology, but not only that, it's the pros and cons. So I guess one of the main things I make quite clear is that I believe if we gain enough knowledge around what's up and coming, we utilize that knowledge to assist us with our sleeping, disconnecting from technology, but also utilizing technology where it is already at to reconnect in our community as well.
Do you think that there's a part of the community who just, I mean, because you see this as a you're a personal trainer. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. I mean, and the results you see from people that aren't necessarily in the lifestyle, in fact, they probably haven't really been active in their childhood. I mean, there's some people that just, they pick it up in their 20s or 30s even. They suddenly go to the gym and they're like, oh, wow, I should have been doing this my whole life. And that must be satisfying for you to see. So how do you bring new clients, new members of the fitness community into the community? Or is it, I'm always interested to know how you get the message out beyond just other fitness people that are already doing it.
What we're starting to see right now, that's what I was celebrating with you actually just before we got on this chat, on this podcast this morning, is that starting at a corporate level or in the workplace is a very easy, low barrier entry. So within the workplace, which we spend, as we know, 70% of our waking hours, we actually can have a profound effect on people's knowledge around health and fitness. And it can be it's insurmountable. Right now, for example, a study just came out that for every $1 spent on your employee, you're getting $3.50 back.
Is that right?
So if you're giving them a meditation pod where they can go and relax in, and a small studio that they can work out at lunchtime, any money that you're spending on those employees, you're going to gain triple, and if not more back. Generally it's more. That's on the low side because not everyone's going into that depth. For example, they're just providing bits and bobs when it comes to the mindset and mental health of their employees. On top of that, that's not including the retention that you'll have in your business. So as a business owner, it's a win-win tenfold. When it comes to the individuals that we see that it's very difficult to reach because they're not even going out to a gym or studio, it's not even in their realm of thinking. That's where we can have a profound impact. The follow-on effect from that is that their family will be impacted. So if you can get them in the corporate setting or in the workplace, generally, if you're going home and eating healthy, then those loved ones that,
they see that.
And some of the shocking stats that came out recently for Biggest Loser was that if a parent is obese, then the likelihood of a child to be obese is 60%. So it's not even 50 anymore. You are 60% likely to grow up obese due to your parent being obese.
Is that right?
So it's a definite precursor. You're learning from example in your environment. So if we can really assist, I believe in the corporate space, that's going to make a big impact.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, you're right, because I suppose I often wonder, unless it's, the individual goes, right, I'm going to get myself down to a gym or I'm going to join CrossFit or go do F45. That's a big leap for some people, just to sort of go out of their routine and go, okay, I'm going to spend 4 hours a week doing fitness, to actually come to their workplace and say, hey guys, we're here to put your pens down, put your computers away, let's all get together and we'll start doing some star jumps or whatever it is that you do. Certainly more complicated than that, but I suppose that's probably some people's first taste of a fitness lifestyle, and in some cases they'll really like the what they see and the feel of it, and right there you've got yourself a whole new member of the community. I would think that that's actually a really good way to go about it, and I didn't know that was what you did actually. But yeah, I know that in a lot of cases a company will put on, maybe a day where someone comes to speak to the company and about maybe some new concepts or whatever. But actually, and in fact, I know that there's some companies that, get people to come in and do massages for
they're
people
fantastic
that,
as well.
Yeah, make them feel good while in their little workstation. But to get them out of their chair and go, all right, guys, once a week, or how often would you go into a workplace? Once a week, something like that?
With the one that we're rolling out right now, because they're also putting a gym on site, we have a coach going in 3 days a week for 3 hours.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
okay.
That's I mean, and some 9 to 12 hours per week, but that's on the high end spectrum. On the
Yep.
low end spectrum, having a coach come in once a week would be fantastic.
Yep.
But even if you couldn't afford that, then you do a Zoom call. So you get everybody on a Zoom call, you discuss, this week we're concentrating on hydration. We'd like you to have at least 2 liters of water. We're going to check in on how this is going, and this is our suggested way to do it. The company gives everybody a water bottle. We have filtered water here. You're going to fill this up, and you make goals, and each week you change it. You keep it interesting. So you don't even necessarily need a coach on site, but you need to have the leaders in the company have a direct buy-in, which will filter out to the rest of the company. As long as they believe in it, everyone else will feel it.
Yeah, okay, it makes sense. I suppose in a lot of cases, it's probably all it's going to take for people to develop better habits, like hydrating. I mean, you would think it's so simple, but some people just don't even think about this stuff until it's put right in front of them. That's a really good thing, and I don't doubt that there's a big market for this, and I think you're going to do very well. So what else is happening with you, Meghan? I know that you like to socialise a bit. I've seen you at a few different events. You're rubbing shoulders with various people that are all much like yourself, upwardly mobile and real go-getters. Do you, and you're on the Gold Coast. If you're on the Gold Coast, this is home to you.
It's so good to be home.
Yeah.
I'm leaving
you
again, but I always love getting back. It's like a vacation.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Well, good. And I suppose from here on, you're going to just develop your company or this app and make sure that it takes off.
I can answer what else is going on. So Yacht Club, which is absolutely amazing. I'm their ambassador. So we'll be hosting some great parties which is the largest boat with decker bar, etc.
I've been on the Yacht Club 3 times.
And I know. How was your birthday?
It's great. I like the Yacht Club. I really do. They really look after you.
Don't they?
They do, yeah. I end up... I usually have a bit too much fun on the Yacht Club.
There's no such thing as too much fun on the Yacht Club.
It's a great day. I've got to say, it's a great day there. It's actually, funnily enough, you could be anywhere. I feel like you're kind of in Miami or Ibiza.
Those are the examples we use.
Oh, really? Okay.
Those two exactly on the...
No
because we run their social media, so that's how I'm involved.
Yeah, because as you're floating around or, sailing around Broadbeach, you've got all these cool high-rise buildings and lovely little islands, sandy islands, and other boats sort of waving as they go by and everything. It's a fun day, and you know what? I feel like it goes for just long enough too. Like it's just the perfect amount of time. You've had all this fun, and by the time you get off, you're sort of ready to, go grab some dinner or whatever it might be. I'm a big fan of that. So, and the crew. Really helpful, accommodating and hospitable. I'll definitely find myself on the Yacht Club again and again, I don't doubt.
Yeah, it's luxurious, great DJs. I think music's important as well, so that's always good.
It is. I think I went on there and it was Peking Duck was the band playing. I'll be honest with you, I'm not young enough to even know who they were. But
okay.
Yeah.
I've only heard of them through younger people that work for me, so... I know them. I'm not playing them in my car right now, but I know them.
They're not on my playlist either. But I got to say, I did know a couple of their songs. I'm like, hey, I've heard this song. Yeah, when you hear a song, and you feel like you should know who it is, and there they are up on stage. So I danced along. But that was actually the first Yacht Club party and that they'd had. I think that was their first ever event. Oh, wow, what a night.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I heard about that from Ollie.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Cool. Well, so I'll see more of you around the place, and I'm really encouraged to hear that things are going well. I mean, anyone that's trying to make a difference in people's lives and bring some improvement about to people that might have either lost their way or could do with a better direction. I applaud that, and no doubt that's what you're doing. Hey, it's so nice to see you, and thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having me.
We'll have to, absolutely. We'll have to catch up again. Yeah, and I want to find out more about what's happening with you in the future. But in the meantime, lovely to see you. And
lovely to see you too.
Yeah, you enjoy your afternoon. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Have a good day. See ya.